welcome back to another Entertainer Spotlight, and today I have the pleasure of having on here Abby, who is in our Manchester team, aren't you? Manchester and Lancashire and kind of all around that sort of area. Preston, Manchester, Lancashire, all around there. How long have you been with Non-Stop Kids, Abby, if you don't mind me asking? It's been must be about 6 months now, if not a bit longer.
No, I think it was last October. Yeah, it was the beginning of, end of September, beginning of October, I had my interview, and then I started going on parties a week later because I remember they were all Halloween, and I was like, oh God, I don't know what to do Halloween-wise, but...
That's amazing. So wow, 9 months then, that's amazing. And I was just saying, before we started this video, I was chatting to you, and I was just saying how amazing your feedback is. People absolutely love you. We get nothing but positive feedback about you. And one thing that comes through over and over again is she was so friendly. She was so good with the kids. She was so nice. And I think, you know, I think people fall in love with you as an entertainer before you even have to entertain. And I think that's half the battle, winning people over when you first get there. And you're amazing. But I want to find out all about you. So I want this to be, I want to find out all about you. So tell us, I mean, you've been working with Non-Stop Kids for coming up on a year now, but you've been interested in performing your whole life, right? Do you want to talk us through that? When did you get the bug? When did you start getting interested in performing?
Well, believe it or not, when I was about 3 years old, let's say, about 2 or 3, I was the shyest person you would ever meet. Like, I wouldn't let go of my mum. I was hid behind my mum constantly. I wouldn't talk to anyone. I wouldn't make any friends. So she decided to take me to theatre school to sing, dance and act, just to do shows every year, just to make a couple of friends. And I just kind of kept it up as a hobby. For a long time. Well, I'm still doing it now, so here we are. But I kept it up as a hobby. But then I kind of thought to myself, everybody was like, it's not a proper career. You can't go into performing. It's not a stable career. And I was like, oh God, I need to think of something else. So I went through, I don't know how many different things. I wanted to be a vet, like every child does, because you love animals. I wanted to be a wedding planner at one point. I don't know where that came from. I really have no idea. But eventually I decided to stick with something I loved, and I knew I didn't actually want to go to university for a long time. I was like, oh, I don't want to go to uni. Like, it just doesn't seem my sort of thing. And then it kind of came around to it. I was like, I actually really want to go to uni, but I don't know what I'd do a degree in. But then
what made you change your mind about uni?
I really don't know. I think it was because I have quite a lot of older friends from doing like Amdram and amateur dramatic stuff like that, and other groups. And I saw them go to uni and they had such a good time. So I was like, I think I want to do that. I really do. And honestly, it was the best decision of my life. Best 3 years of my life. And I've got a degree. Well, I will have a degree in the end of this month. And I graduate in December because obviously of the coronavirus, I can't graduate this summer. But like, I've got a degree in something I absolutely adore, so...
That is brilliant. That is brilliant. Because there's a lot of people that are watching this that are interested in entertainment. We're finding that a lot of people are watching these, they've got an interest in entertainment, and they don't really know how to kind of get involved in that industry because it's a kind of weird industry to get involved in. So would you say going to university is a really good way to kind of get involved in performing?
It is, but also... I would recommend just joining your local theatre group, joining your local dance group or club or whatever, and just making friends. It's being with like-minded people that brings out the best in you, I always think, and stuff like that. And I think it's becoming an entertainer. You don't have to be into performing arts. You don't have to be anything like that. To be a kid's entertainer, you just have to not take yourself very seriously, to be honest.
Absolutely. But you said that you did a lot of stuff, you did a lot of Amdram as well. Was that before you went to uni?
Yes, I did a lot of amateur dramatics leading up to going to uni, and I'm also looking into doing it now that I'm back home and stuff like that. So I feel like it's just the constant performing that I absolutely love. And
I
that's what
think
I get.
you get the bug, don't you? You kind of when you people don't. It's very difficult to describe the feeling of what it's like being on stage
Mhm.
unless you've actually been there and you've done it. You know,
You
it's
get a buzz and you're like all hyped up for ages afterwards.
and it is a calling, really, isn't it? Because you know, it's not an easy thing to get. It's not an easy thing to do. A lot of people look at it and they go, "Oh, it's such an easy." It's not an easy life. It's not an easy life. It's you know, I know exactly where you're coming from. So what was your degree in?
My degree, in its full words, is music theatre, because we also did like a devising part. So we created our own theatre, we created our own music and things like that. But we
Okay.
also did the singing, dancing, and acting part as well. So it was kind of a mixture of both.
Wow. So tell me more about that. That sounds really interesting. So it's not just learning the performing side of things, you're learning everything. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, the devising part of it, we had to like research into different practitioners and things like that. And also like using like natural things to make sounds. And like, for example, a piece that I did last December, it was focused on going clubbing, and
Right.
like it was a very abstract piece about going clubbing, and the whole thing was through beatbox. We beatboxed the whole thing. None of us were pro
Really?
beatboxers whatsoever, but we gave it a go and it showed up in the end.
That's amazing. And you were just saying to me the final thing that you had to do in your degree was you had to put a show on.
Yeah,
And that happened right at the beginning of lockdown. Is that right?
yeah.
That must be really annoying.
Yeah, we'd worked for 4 weeks. So in the end of our third year, we get to work with a professional director, and we were lucky enough to get a show that was written for us, which
No
is
way.
absolutely amazing opportunity. And honestly, I wouldn't change a thing about it. It was just so sad that it was cut short, because basically we went into lockdown on the Monday and the university closed the Wednesday before. So we got one show. We had to beg the university to get one show, but we did, and it was
At least
absolutely
at
amazing.
least you got to perform it once. That's
Yeah,
better than nothing, I suppose.
exactly.
And can you tell us about the show?
The show was it was called Build Your Own Utopia, and
Okay.
I played the character Brooke, which was actually written for me. We all had to bring in a song and audition, and they wrote the characters around ourselves, which was absolutely amazing because we got to put our own inputs in on it and everything.
That's
And
all.
then it was about these group of students, like musical theatre students, that had just finished their last show, and they wanted to escape. They wanted to keep the uni life going instead of going into the adult world, which is quite the situation I'm in now.
Relatable, absolutely.
Relatable, exactly. And basically, my character turns around and goes, "I've got an island." Randomly, she's not told anybody. She just goes, "I've got an island." And then they all go off to this island, and it just kind of goes to a mess, really. It's a bit like Lord of the Flies, but not so much, if that makes sense. It's got its own twist on it. So, for example, we meet the character Fox, which is like a god of this island, and it's their island, and things start going wrong, and then her sister shows up and goes, "No, this is my island." It's all very confusing, but there is a recording of it, a live stream recording of it, on the Build Your Own Utopia Facebook page.
Oh,
So if
great.
anybody wants to watch it, you're more than welcome to go watch it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And what's the plan now then? What are you, from knowing you as long as I have, and also chatting to you, I have a feeling that you're like, you know, some people go to uni and then they end up doing nothing to do with their degree. I think that you're so passionate about performing and entertainment. I'm guessing that that's something you're going to carry on doing. But what's the plan? Where are you going? What's now?
Well, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure, but I know I love entertaining.
Yes.
I've kind of strayed away from the idea of being on the West End or Broadway or something like that. I prefer just entertaining people. So whether that's on a holiday rep in Lanzarote, or on CBeebies or something like that, or even at Disneyland, that would be amazing. Just to carry on entertaining people.
Yeah, which is what you do so well in Non-Stop Kids as well. Okay, awesome, fantastic. So you want to carry on entertaining? That's awesome. And so tell me a little bit about. Did you find, because you've never done children's entertainment before joining us, so or have you? No. So a little bit.
A little bit. It wasn't entertaining. It was more like I helped choreograph. I helped direct in an Amdram group that is in my village. Mm-hmm. So, and I helped a little bit with that. And I also was a brownie leader and a guide leader. But I wouldn't call it so much entertaining.
How did you find switching over then and doing the parties with Non-Stop Kids? Did you find it difficult at first, or was it very easy because of your background, or was there anything you found challenging?
To start with, it was very daunting because it kind of gave me all these tricks, all these things to do, and then you kind of find your own way through it. Like, when I first started, I made a list of things I was going to do. So I was like, I'm going to play this game, do this action dance, I'm going to play this game, this action dance, magic show, food, It'd be in a big long list, and I'd keep it behind my table and make sure. But then after a bit, you kind of find which dances work, you find which games work, and like for what age ranges and things like that. And then you kind of put your own little spin on it.
Yes.
And it just turns into your own thing.
Absolutely. Which is why no two entertainers are the same. Like, although some of them have the same tricks, everybody presents it differently. Everyone does things differently, and one person might love one game, and another person might hate it and go, "No, I'd never play that game. That doesn't work for me." Okay, what's your favourite package to do in Non-Stop Kids?
Ooh, I do love the Everyday Hassle Free, but I also really love a princess party.
Well, you can't beat the princess parties, can you?
Because it's just watching all these little girls and boys turn up in their princess dresses and their costumes and their prince outfits, and they all look so cute and they're all so excited, and then they think you're a real princess, and it's so lovely, and you can just tell you've made their day by the end of the party.
Absolutely. And here's a question for you. What one tip would you give? Because there's a lot of parents that watch this as well. What one tip would you give a parent that's watching this that wants to make sure that their child's party is amazing? Obviously, book Non-Stop Kids is the first tip that you can give them, but let's just assume they've done that. Is there something, through all of your experience going to so many different parties and seeing so many different parents do things different ways, is there a tip that you could give everyone to ensure success?
This is a good one. I really love when the parents are engaged. When I do my magic shows, I absolutely love it when the parents are shouting, joining in, whether that's even the magic shows or the games. My favourite game to play is Go Fetch, because all the parents get so involved. Like, I'll ask the children, I need you to bring me a Tesco club card. I've never seen parents like scramble through their bags as quick in my life. They all get so competitive, but that truly makes a party, like to get all the adults involved and all the kids involved. Because sometimes if it's just the kids involved, they're having a great time, but the parents are having a really, really big chat at the back of the room, and it's hard to get the kids engaged sometimes. So when everybody joins in, it's absolutely amazing.
Totally agree. Yeah, I couldn't. That's a really good point. Really, really, really good point. Never heard anyone say that before, but that's absolutely so true. Awesome, fantastic. So, have you going back to Amdram? Have you acted in many plays or amateur dramatic publication performances and stuff? And if you have, what's your favourite one that you've acted in? And okay, that's the first question. What's your favourite play or performance that you've been involved with?
Well, I didn't actually do any acting up until I was about in year 10 or year 9, because I was just singing and dancing as part of theatre shows every single year where it was just song and dance.
Yes,
so I never actually acted up until that point when they started doing school shows. And I remember it was Bugsy Malone, and the person that played Dandy Dan, I don't know whether you know Bugsy Malone.
I'm a big Bugsy Malone fan, so yeah, I'm totally
I
with you.
absolutely love Bugsy Malone. I was literally talking about it the other day with my sister, and yeah, basically the male who was playing Dandy Dan dropped out about 2 weeks before the show started, and I just remember going, I'm only a small part in this. I could do a crossover. So I went, Miss, I'll play Dandy Dan. So I ended up playing a male character, which I'd never done in my life. I am the most girly girl in the entire world. And then I had to turn into some gangster. Within 2 weeks, she was like, are you sure? There is a lot of lines. I was like, yeah, miss, I can do it. Watch, I'll do it. And I did it. It was absolutely amazing. I got to play the role I was given to start with, and I was then allowed to play Dandy Dan. So it was like lots of quick changes in the process, but it was amazing. And that's one that will stick with me for a long time, because I just kind of put myself out there for one of the first times ever. I just kind of went, I'll do it. And then suddenly I was playing 2 roles, and it was one of the main roles, and I absolutely loved it.
That's great. That's awesome. And what's on your bucket list? What haven't you done? No, what haven't you done? What if I could wave a magic wand and make something happen? What is it that you'd want to do? What's that one thing on your bucket list that you haven't done yet?
Oh, there's lots of things. Well, I don't mean to go on, but when I was about 16, I travelled to South America, to Ecuador, for a month to help like low developed communities and like help build stuff. And it was absolutely amazing. That was a life-changing experience. And I would absolutely love to go do something like that again, but for performing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That really is. That's brilliant. That's great. Well, you know what? Knowing how driven you are, I think that's definitely something you can make happen. 100%. 100%. Awesome. Now, I've got another question for you now, or I've got another thing that I want you to do. And I did mention this to you before. We're going to do some quick fire questions. Okay. Now, we've been doing this with every entertainer, and we have a leaderboard of who answers the most questions in 3.5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Now, at the moment, and we've done it with about 30 or 40 entertainers at this point, and at the moment, getting my timer, the leader is David Burgess from over in Liverpool.
Okay.
Because he's a scouser and he can speak 10 words to anyone else's one. But you have the chance to bring it back to the Manchester team. So let me get my timer up here. There we go. And let me get my questions up. And your job is to just answer the questions as quickly as you can. Are you ready?
Yes.
Don't fall off your chair. That's the first one. That's the first point. Right, here we go. And your time starts now. If you could buy any type of food right now, what would it be?
A donut.
I don't love it. What colour is your toothbrush?
Pink.
I'm not surprised. If you could be any animal, what would you be and why?
Probably a giraffe.
Okay. How come?
Because they're so tall. And I'm quite small, so it'd be different to be quite tall.
I like that. Who's your favourite superhero and why?
Ooh, Wonder Woman. Because she's such a strong woman and she just has great motives. Like, there's no woman like Wonder Woman, if that makes sense.
That's the name, Wonder Woman. Totally agree. Who do you admire the most?
Ooh, this is going to sound really weird, but I absolutely love my mum. I admire to be exactly like my mum. She helps everybody in every way possible, and she always has a smile on her face, no matter what.
You know what? I love that. I love that. That's not weird at all. That's brilliant. What's your favourite summer activity?
Oh, probably swimming or a good book by the pool.
I agree with that. If a movie was made of your life, what genre would it be and who would play you?
A musical, definitely. And I think it would be Kristen Bell, who plays Anna in Frozen.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, I can see that. If you could be any flavour ice cream, what ice cream flavour would you be and why?
Eat and mess.
Oh,
I love
totally
a
agree.
mess.
Totally agree with you. Are you a morning or a night person?
Both.
What's your favourite hobby?
Hobby? Tap dancing. I absolutely love tap dancing.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. What's the one thing that annoys you the most?
Rude people. People that are really rude for no reason whatsoever.
I agree. What is one of your weird quirks?
Weird quirks.
Have you got any?
Oh, it's really strange, and my family will vouch for this. Sometimes I really need to stretch my back, and I stretch my back in the weirdest positions you've ever seen. I do yoga, so I end up in some really random positions in the middle of the living room whilst they're trying to watch TV. So I need to stretch my
back. I love that. I love that. What is the strangest thing you've ever eaten?
When I was in Ecuador, I ate an ant. It came out of a plant and I ate an ant.
Whoa. If you could trade lives with anyone for one day, who would it be?
Oh God, Lord. I really don't know. Who could I trade lives with? Probably someone like maybe like Wonder Woman, because then she got the superpower and the pro women. You know what I mean?
Love it. You built two birds with one stone. That's amazing. Yeah. I love that. Where would you go if you were invisible? If you could turn yourself invisible, where would you go?
Where would I go? Probably to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and I'd eat all the chocolate because no one would know it had gone.
Love it. And if you could have any superpower, what would you have?
Probably to read people's minds, because I always get worried what people are thinking about me, and then I know exactly what they're thinking about me if I can read them.
I love that. I love that. I love that. That's brilliant. And last one is... Okay, this is a weird one. If you're... No, I'm not even going to read that. That's too weird. Let me just go to this one. What's your favourite Halloween costume?
Ooh, my favourite Halloween costume. One that I've done, or just in general?
No, just in general. Just in general.
I do love a good zombie, because you can go any way with that. You could be a zombie nurse. You could be a zombie cat. I don't know.
I couldn't agree more.
Covers a wide
range. I'm a big zombie film fan. I love zombie films. In fact, somebody who's into amateur dramatics and performing arts, I'm going to tell you about a film right now that I bet you've never seen. Nobody's ever seen it, and it's the greatest film ever. Have you ever seen Anna versus the Apocalypse?
No.
It's a British film. It's amazing. It's a zombie musical set at Christmas. And the songs are amazing. A zombie musical set at Christmas. Anna versus the Apocalypse. Watch it. It is the greatest film of all time.
I think
it only came out 2 years ago. So you have to watch that. You have to watch that. Anna versus the Apocalypse. Right.
A musical, like, that's me sold.
You sold. You sold. What is your favourite musical, as an extra question?
My favourite musical is Legally Blonde.
Couldn't agree.
Because it's, again, a strong woman, and she just proves people wrong. Everyone thinks she's ditzy and got nothing going for her, and she just proves everyone wrong. She graduates Harvard, and it's absolutely amazing. The songs are amazing. The dancing's amazing. Love it.
I agree. Do you like the films? Do you like the films as well?
Yeah, I do like the films, but I prefer the musical more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so I've got one more thing that I need you to do, which is I would like you to do an impression. I did pre-warn you about this. I ask everybody. Fun day. An impression. It can be an impression of absolutely anybody you want. I'm going to leave it up to you. I have discovered that non-stop kids entertainers, despite being very talented, they're not very good at impressions. So, but it's like I said to you before we started this, however bad it is, it's not going to be as bad as Kieran attempting to do Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm. Right. Let me think. I've been thinking whilst we've been talking, but like, oh, I know. I can do an all right Horrid Henry impression.
Can you? Okay, yeah. I'll have that. Go on.
This is where I offend everybody because it's rubbish. I'm not very good at impressions, just putting it out there first. I never get my way because of my brother, Perfect Peter.
That's amazing. That's brilliant. I love that. That is the best impression ever. Honestly, I could shut my eyes and that was Horrid Henry. That's great.
Well, thank you.
Brilliant. That's awesome. One last question, and we'll wrap it all up. And the final question is, I always ask everybody to finish with this. You sign off by giving everybody your one pearl of wisdom, your one piece of nugget. It doesn't have to be about kids' parties. It doesn't have to be about performing. One piece of advice from Abby that you kind of think is a really important thing.
Okay. Do what makes you happy because your life is what you make it.
I love that. I absolutely love
live by that all the time.
Yeah, you embody that, don't you? I know that you do. That's amazing. That is brilliant. Abby, it has been a real pleasure having you on this Entertainer Spotlight. It really has.
Honestly, I feel like I've talked for years. I feel
you're amazing. You're amazing. It's been really interesting as well, and you're amazing. So, guys, if you want to know about Abby and you want to find out about booking Abby, just go on to Non-Stop Kids, click on the team page, click on the picture of Abby, and there's lots of information there about her. She's amazing. And you can have her at your child's party, unless you live in London, because she's up in Manchester, so that's not going to happen. But, Abby, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
I've loved doing it, to be honest.
It was brilliant. When I saw your name pop up, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. And it is. So thank you so much. Guys, follow us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and we'll be back again. Exactly. Bye, everybody. See you soon.